point in time did you ever think, okay, we might die out here?
Well, no.
Y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Creatively Speaking. Thank you so much for pressing play. We really appreciate it. I'm Kadeja, aka K-Lig, and I'm with two amazing people. Please introduce yourselves.
I'll go first. J Law here, Creatively Speaking, back for another episode.
Woohoo!
Yep, my name is Lewis Tinsley. I'm a photographer. I'm the DP of Creatively Speaking.
This here podcast.
Yeah, this here podcast.
Yes.
Good, happy to be here. Happy to sit down and talk to my friends here.
Yeah,
So.
how does it feel like being a part of the podcast and now you're here as a guest? Like, I know this is like your first time sitting and the first time saying something, but how is it?
Honestly, it's incredibly weird. I was like, I'm in this room all the time with you all, but like literally sitting down. And I'm messing with these cameras all the time, but like actually sitting here staring at this one, I'm like, what is going on right now?
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's
so,
cool.
But yeah, wouldn't want to do this with anyone else, so I'm happy to be here with y'all.
Well, thank you for being here because Cook is away, but he'll be back soon, y'all. He'll be back soon, but thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Of course.
So now we're going to check in with our friends, make sure we're all good. What have we been up to? J Law, what have you been up to? Because I know it's something amazing that we should give out certificates for.
It's nothing new since the last one. I'm still working on that mural that I told you guys about. Progress is going great. It's my head is down. You know what I mean?
I feel it. That's
tired,
how I feel.
but I'm here, showing up, and I'm here. So
I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Along the same lines, I'm tired, but I'm also feel like time is moving so incredibly fast that we're just like barreling towards summer, and then by the time I look up, it'll be like the end of the year, and now 2026 is here. Or am I tripping?
No, time has been moving super crazy right now. It's been going simultaneously fast and incredibly slow at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. It's been wild.
What you been up to?
Well, I've been back in town for about 2-3 weeks now, but I was in Alaska with my girlfriend for like a week or so, Fairbanks, Alaska. And then I came back for a few days, then went to London for a wedding, and I was there for a week.
Wow.
Then went from there to France to visit my sister and hang out with my nieces and nephews and my brother-in-law. So
wow.
Oh yeah, you really been a road runner.
Yeah.
You've been traveling, bro. How was I got questions. How was Alaska? I've never been. I know everybody says it's cold. It's this time of the year, so I know it had to be freezing. It right, but no. And I know, like in the summertime, it's not. It gets in like the 60s.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't been there in the summer, but I would like to go back. I'd say I'd go back twice. One more time in the winter and then one time in the summer. Because the summer they said like you get like 16 hours of sun.
Gotcha.
Wow, that
It's
would
like-
do wonders for my mental health.
Yeah, it's like it stays between like 60 to 70, so it's like literally perfect.
Okay.
But when we were there, it was, I think the lowest it got was about like 10 degrees, which was
That's not
bad.
Yeah,
It's not crazy. But they were saying
What?
No, they were saying if we got there a week before, it would have been negative 20 degrees, and if we stayed a few more days, we would have got stuck in like freezing rain. So we got there
Oh
like
my
a pretty
gosh.
temperate time.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought people were messing with me. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty warm out there, so we could do this and that." I'm like, "Dude, I got like 15 layers on. Bro. What are you talking about?"
I can't do anything.
But once I checked the weather, I was like, "Oh."
So what activities did y'all get into in Alaska?
Yeah, so we went snowmobiling.
With the
I
dogs?
always have a hard time. No, I want to say snowboarding, but we went snowmobiling.
Okay.
We went, so we like on this trail. We also rode on this frozen lake for a little while, and then right outside of our like hotel thing was like the Chena River, and it was completely frozen over, like 20 inches down. So we were like walking on that joint like every day, just kind of talking at the end of the night,
Sounds beautiful.
No,
We
for
ate some
real.
really good food, but the highlight was a friend of mine messaged me, was like, "Yo, when you're out there, see if you can go up to these mountains and go to Kastner Glacier, right?" So I was like, "Yo, let's do this." So we drove about 2 hours up north. Roads are icy as hell. I'm like super ice
all
road
of this,
trucking.
I'm like, let's just stay in the house. Like, you're walking on ice lakes.
Yeah.
You going up the mountains.
But that's what made it so cool. It was like a full sensory experience, and like being that far away from the East Coast, completely different time zone. No messages were really hitting the same way. Like I was like really in a remote area. Like the sky was completely white and snowing. The trees frosted over. The ground every time you step is crunching.
Wow.
It was cool, man.
Wow.
But yeah, when we were looking for the Kastner Glacier though, like we were hiking for like 2 hours, yo. And it's not run by the national parks. It's run by my girl was like, it's run by BLM, and I was like, Black Lives Matter out here?
Oh my god.
But no, she was like, it's like a Bureau of Land Management.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So they don't really put the effort into like maintaining
sure
things.
yeah.
So online it was like you will find a trail of matted down snow.
And that's where you should go.
Yeah. So we were looking around and we see a trail and it's just like footsteps, right? And they're like patted down, like iced
Like that's
over.
all you got.
So we're
like,
like, okay, cool. And it's like it's moderate at first, but eventually it starts to get up here, and then it gets up here.
Sheesh.
So like there's like times I'm like literally like moving my whole thing like waist level at some points, you know?
That's crazy.
So at no point in time did you ever think, okay, we might die out here.
Well, no, my girl.
Like,
My girl started getting like, yo,
I'm about to
we
say,
can't
how-
do this.
like this is where the people leave. Like this is
Yeah.
the part of the movie where you turn back and you should go.
And this is when I was like, listen, I hear you.
Oh, all is well.
I was like, all right, I was like, chill here. Let me just go beyond the trees this way.
Let me leave you.
Next thing
no,
you know,
that's the part of the movie where you don't do that, Lewis.
Yeah, no. I mean, I went a little bit further, and I was like, all right, let's go back. But eventually we
idea.
found another trail, and then we kept going,
Sheesh.
and we were walking again, and then eventually we do start to see groups of people, you know. So we're like,
thank God.
we're in the right
Civilization.
direction.
Yeah.
It was like 5 groups, and there was like one solo dude ahead of everyone, and he walks up, and he's like, yo, just so you
Chainsaw.
know,
Oh, sorry.
he's like, just so you know, everyone back there is lost. He's like, so.
So we're coming back
So
to
it don't
with
help,
you
right?
Yeah, he's like, so if y'all know where the glacier is, like, let us know because we want to find it too.
before we eat you.
Yeah. So at that point, we're like, oh, we just abandoned the glacier idea and just like vibed out because we were in the middle of the mountains in a really cool, like, beautiful place, man. So
That's amazing. So,
Yeah.
can we back up and talk about dating someone who is equally adventurous as you? Do you think how important is that in relationship compatibility in your mind? Because that sounds like an adventure. I would be back in the Airbnb with a heated blanket, chilling, like trying to order some Instacart or something.
no, that's super important to me because I want to get out and do some wild stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like most of the time I just want to chill in the house for real. But once you get me out the house,
Yeah, we're in Alaska now.
I'm
Yeah.
out here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure we
Yeah.
do something. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's my girl says all the time. She's like, he's like, he don't never want to do anything, but when he's out there, he don't never want to come back. And that's literally how it is. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's
it's important to me. I mean, how
cool,
about
that's
y'all? Like, y'all.
I
You need to-
actually was in a relationship where that was an issue. Like we went to Puerto Rico and he was up on this like mountain situation. He's like, yeah, just come on. I don't see a path here. I think this is how people are now deceased from jumping off of this cliff. So I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm not
I
that
hear
girl.
you.
And it was a thing. But I'm also not that person to stop you from doing anything. But don't try to peer pressure me into doing it because now we're arguing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nah, the same way with me. I'm not adventurous at all. I can't swim.
Me neither, J Law.
I
It's
don't-
okay.
I don't do the roller coasters. It make me throw up. I damn
Aw.
near hate get on a plane, but I do it because I need to get to the destination.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely compatibility. Even me and my girl, it's like she, I follow, she leads. So if it ain't feeling good on me, she ain't. Yeah.
Okay.
She ain't doing it either. But if I'm going to do it, she'll do it. But
Okay.
yeah,
It's a
definitely-
mutual
It's a
thing.
mutual thing.
I
for
think
sure.
it's important. I do
Yeah,
think
for
that it's
sure.
important to find somebody that is equally adventurous or open-minded
Right.
to your adventure, so that it won't feel like, yeah. I think we're on the same page.
Well,
Let's
see,
not dig too much into that.
I would say like it's not even just being adventurous. I could just do that with friends or something like that. But I would say it's more important relationship wise is having someone who's adventurous eater for me. 'Cause,
Okay.
Oh wow,
you know
that
what I'm
a
saying?
picky
That
person. Yeah.
Food stuff is like super important, man. Because I dated someone who was super not adventurous
Yeah, yeah.
eating wise. Who like I remember we went to
Not chicken tenders and fries. Not adventurous. Ooh.
yeah. I mean I'm talking like we went to this sushi spot and man she was just not. It was her first time trying it. Was not really digging it, so we had to go to like Johnny Rockets after that and get some. That was literally how it
The
was.
two restaurants.
She was a really good person, though. No, really dope person. But and then I also
That's always a caveat.
No person but
yeah. And then I also dated someone who was like becoming a vegetarian.
Okay.
And
Okay. So
Put
food
me on-
compatibility is a thing too.
that's my thing for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Compatibility. That's how we first locked in. And then it was like, oh, you like crazy stuff too? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That.
No,
I love
facts.
that.
The food thing gotta be able to try new foods. Cause my thing is like, damn, just try it.
Yeah, you don't even know
feel
if
me?
you don't
Yeah,
like
you don't
it.
know if you don't like it. So
yeah.
that's
sure.
a big thing for me as well. Even if we rock out with the vegetarian, vegan, like I'm just need more. I'm just to get full. You
Give
know
me
what
a little
I mean?
extra plate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Like,
I tried tofu over the weekend. Maybe I had tofu one time before, but when I tell you it was nasty, y'all, it was not good. But I tried it. I ordered it. I tasted it, and it was a no for me.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to try new things because we're grown as hell. So
facts.
you know.
Yeah, see, I had tofu many times, and for the first I'm like 32. For the first 31 years of my life, I was like, this is completely nasty. Yeah, but I've had it every now and then. I'm like, okay, it depends on the
How you
sauce,
sauce it
or it
up.
depends on who's cooking it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you can make some creative decisions that go
But
sideways.
there is so many other meatless options in the world that I don't think anybody
true.
should have to eat tofu.
Yeah, we're past that, guys.
Yeah,
No,
it's spongy and it's odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Did I not do my check-in again this time? Did I check in?
You kind of brushed past it. You was asking him. You were saying you were ready for spring, summer.
Yes, I did. Then I passed it.
Yeah.
But my check-in is I went to go see Captain America, the new what is the Brave New World?
Gotcha.
That's what it's called. I enjoyed it. I know it's a lot of back and forth on the internet about it, but I'm a Marvel fan. And I enjoyed it. Did you? I think Lewis.
I watched the movie. I'll say this. I didn't love it initially coming out the movie theater. But upon reflection, I do enjoy it more, you know. But I will say I didn't like it initially because it was Sam Wilson's first, solo movie, and I felt like it was more of a placeholder movie. Like we're gonna go back to Incredible Hulk and make this like an Incredible Hulk 2.
Yeah, they tried
You know what
to
I'm saying?
tie up some loose ends with this movie.
Yeah, and then even the end credits was like, I don't know, man. It was just like, damn, dude, give my man some.
Give him a movie if you're
yeah,
gonna give him a movie.
And I will say I did like the show.
Was it the Winter Soldier?
Was it Falcon and Winter Soldier? Which was a good show. And I was like, my girl was like, that could have been a movie right there, like a legit movie. But I'm glad he at least got the show because he went in on that joint. And movie wise, I had to go back and rewatch Winter Soldier, which is his first.
I didn't see it,
dude,
so I should probably watch that.
Winter Soldier's like top tier MCU for real.
That's so interesting that they put so much into their series nowadays. Because Agatha All Along, WandaVision, and this apparently is like top tier television, but the movies are flopping. Interesting.
Yeah, someone was like, are the movies bad or do you just get older? And I was like, I think the movies.
No.
I think you might be right. You might be right a little bit, like 10% right, but like, no, the movies ain't hitting like they used to.
No, I think Disney is getting lazy. I enjoyed the action scenes. I think that the writing wasn't there. I think when you look at a Black Panther or something where the storyline is tight and the acting is so compelling and the writing is good, I didn't get that from this. But I did enjoy the action. Scenes were fun.
The action was good, yeah. But I agree with you with the writing too, because when I went back to Winter Soldier, which is Sam's first appearance in the whole MCU, he's like a super charismatic dude, and like a really caring guy. He's like he works with vets. He's like a really cool guy, and I just feel like he was reacting to things so much in this movie. Like it was a movie more so about Isaiah, and then it was more so about the Hulk dude, and then and honestly, I like the Isaiah story, and I wish we could have even done more of that. I would love to see a flashback of him doing
I
his thing.
think they killed him off, and then they didn't kill him. Like, I think in the original shoot of the movie, they killed him, and then they probably previewed it to the audience and was like, okay, we can't kill him. Actually, there's spoilers in here, FYI.
Oh, sorry.
So, sorry, y'all. But yeah, I think...
Damn, you might be right. I'm thinking about that. You might be right.
I think so, because he wasn't... Yeah, that's what I think about
Okay.
it. J Law, what you got to say?
I don't watch movies, so y'all can have that one. I'm looking at y'all like this is water break right now. And I respect it because, like, I wish that I really was more into movies because it's a lot to talk about and connect with, different people. But it's just not my thing, yo. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's just, I watched them as a kid, but, like, I feel like ever since I hit college, like, movies ain't it. It's just not. So, like I said, I saw one of them days. I'll catch them here and there, but what y'all just said, I have no clue what y'all were talking about.
So Marvel is definitely not even on your radar now.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
No, but I will say, but to your point, and I have to follow up with you about movies later. But to your point about Marvel, like the shows doing better than the movies, I just feel like they kept Disney as a whole has been cranking the notch up over and over and over. Whereas like you can't keep quality control
at all
at that point.
What do you mean, like the pace in which they're creating?
Yeah,
yes.
We went from like one movie a year to like
4
and 2 series, and like, and then, first off, I was like, I'm not keeping up with all this no more.
No.
And then 2, it was like, but we're losing the good storytelling. We're losing
because
good
you're
the
chasing
CGI
the
was
dollar.
going downhill too, because you're overworking everyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's
facts.
like, and I used to work on movies too back in the day. I was like, I did Grip and Electric. I was like helping light things up in Kentucky. I lived out there for like 3 years.
That's cool.
It's a brutal position, but man, it was also some of the funnest times of my life. But I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I don't even think people care enough about movies like that anymore. And when I look at the quality of movies that come out nowadays, we do have like incredible movies like Dune 2, highly recommend. Even the newest Batman movie, which I loved. I saw it in theaters, of course, but it's just like, damn, things don't even hit like that. And visually too, because you can go back to like the early 2000s and even the 90s, 80s, and you watch a movie, the cinematography is on point. You can still see what's happening at night.
No,
Yeah.
facts.
You watch a movie nowadays, man, I don't know what the hell.
Turn it up.
Yeah.
Turn that up.
And there's a number of reasons for that, I feel like. I feel like it's budget, like you can't.
Why is Game of Thrones so dark?
Man.
The world will never know.
I just regret so many things that happened at those last like 2 seasons because it was such a great show, top quality, man.
Sheesh.
And then I liked what happened with Game of Thrones at the end. I liked
The story arc.
I liked where it ended, but I didn't like how we got there. If we gave more time, more breathing room, then
But
I would have been like, okay, cool.
How long is too long on series sometimes?
I feel like that they could have gave that one because I feel like the studio wanted to give them more time, and the
they was trying to
showrunners
wrap
were
it.
like,
oh.
they were like, yo, what was it? Star Wars is reaching out to us. We want to wrap this up so we can do this. And then Star Wars was not happy with how they wrapped it up, so then they dropped them. So like,
sheesh.
yeah,
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I never knew that.
Me neither.
Oh, man.
Me
Wow.
neither.
it's a cold world out here.
Okay,
Oh,
back to
facts.
Disney doing too many series or doing too much. I think they over pitched the idea of streaming. Like I feel like 2020 during the pandemic, everybody was pouring so much money into streaming. You get Disney Plus, and then they put so much money behind all the content on the series. Even Moana 2 was supposed to be a series, but they like stitched it together to be a box office so they can get more money. Like I really feel like Disney is shooting themselves in the foot chasing the dollar.
Oh, for sure.
And things like
and
that,
they've been
yeah.
backtracking too. They've been like saying like we're gonna go back to basics, not do as much. But that's an interesting point because I feel like people were asking them to do that, And at some point you got to wonder like, should I be listening to my audience that much, or like because that when you say shoot themselves in the foot, they're shooting themselves with like billions of bullets in their foot.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's a lot of money right there.
It's interesting. I think it comes from the head CEO, which I can't tell you the CEO of Disney's name. Is it Bob Iger? I think it is. But yeah, I think it comes from the head CEO and his idea of what the business should be moving forward.
See, all right, so it's funny you brought the CEO up because I remember Bob Iger left when all the other CEOs were leaving during COVID, right? And then Bob Chapek came in, and they put him in charge, and I feel like he did exactly what they wanted him to do.
Get revenue up.
But everyone was like really disappointed with things, and then they brought Bob Iger back, so now he's the new CEO, and I was like, I wonder how much of this was his master plan to be like, I'm gonna dip out for COVID,
Let him mess things up,
yeah, and then come back and be like the hero again. I was like, man, okay,
See,
10
the
steps
bigger
ahead,
vision.
Bob Iger. I see you, man.
I see you, Disney icon. But yeah, that's my catch up, y'all. I went to go see a movie. I'm trying to keep my head above water because like we were talking about time. I feel like time is just moving so quickly at times. So yeah, just trying to keep my level head. How do you balance multiple projects, Lewis?
Man, I'm still trying to figure that out myself, yo. So anytime I have a deadline, those are that's not an issue to me. Like I will figure that out off the rip. But it's like the administrative things and like other things that don't necessarily have a hard deadline that always get kind of pushed to the side. So I have to like really be on top of myself. So I've been trying to make better lists of like things that I can knock out to hit those other things. But multiple projects, I don't know.
No?
I just get it done. I just power through
They make
it.
it sound so easy.
No, facts.
Law, how do you deal with multiple projects?
I really try to like break them down in the schedule side of it. So if I'm working on more than one thing at one time, I'll dedicate a day for this or a day for that.
Okay.
And I'm real big. I'm not a big procrastinator. So
Oh
like,
God. Okay, I'm talking to the wrong group of people. Then. That's what I'm hearing.
I know I'm a procrastinator, so we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
like I hate having to work on something so long at one point in time. So I gotta knock it out piece.
And you have the forethought to think that, okay,
Yeah.
I know myself enough to
No,
know
facts.
that. But I
'Cause
just continue to put myself in the same position. It's fine. Like, it's fine.
I'm just gonna hate myself for it. Then I'm gonna hate the work, and then it's probably not gonna be my best work. So I try to know at the beginning of, when I get the projects, that I just knock a little bit out piece by piece.
Piece by
I've been
piece.
down that road before, and it's not good on my mental.
That's beautiful. Shout out to you taking care of future you.
I try to take care of
I
myself.
love that. Me, on the other hand, she hates me because it's
Maybe
like
it's a thrill you love. You let it
maybe
game, you let it hustle.
They say, people. I have undiagnosed ADHD. I don't know if I have it, but things like this make me think that that's probably what it is, because they say like something, you enjoy the rush of getting to that end, like then that's when you'll actually do it, because you have that pressure to actually get it done.
It's game time. Yeah.
Sounds dangerous. Sounds real dangerous.
No, facts. Yeah, if I would give a suggestion, and you might have tried this, but I would like write the projects down like a tangible calendar, not like in your phone, like a large calendar that you have where you can write it down and say Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. working on this.
I have done that. I have tried time blocking, but then I think two things I probably should do is mix it up every week, because I think that monotony, I just kind of won't do it. Then I also have an issue with being motivated to do it. Like if I don't feel like doing something, I'll do something that I feel like doing, that just starts the cycle.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody has.
Interesting. So
I mean,
How do I fix that, y'all?
hey man, I hate to say it, but you gotta figure it out.
It's just something I gotta figure out. I gotta figure it out.
I do like the idea of a written calendar that you're doing the time block. Well, all right.
It's like I'm seeing it. I'm seeing
Well, I have a question about time blocking for you though, like, because I try to time block, and then I get an email or a phone call or something like that, and like it could be a client or whatever, so I gotta take this, and then all of a sudden
Now
that just
I'm
pulls me
hooked
in
on
a whole
this other
nother
thing.
tangent, and then you're burning yourself out solving a new problem. You know what I'm saying? So like, do you like shut your phone off and your emails, and you're like, okay?
Yeah, actually, I don't know what episode it was, but that brick thing that I bought,
It really
I'm telling you, that thing
right.
works.
I'm telling you.
It's
Damn,
your
let me
phone. You cannot use your phone, and you have to get up, put it someplace where you have to get up to actually unlock your phone.
The only thing is, my job is social
that's
media,
different, true.
but I do see myself become more productive when my phone is on do not disturb or personal.
Got you.
Yeah, I need to utilize that feature more, because I don't know why, but it's like time to do it on the weekends, and my weekends are always lovely. I don't know why it's scheduled like that, but I kind of like it. Like Saturday, it's like, oh, I didn't get any text messages because it's on do not disturb.
Right.
Yeah.
No, facts.
Yeah, I actually do keep my phone on do not disturb like permanently. Only people who can reach out to me on the regular is like my family and my girlfriend.
Right.
Oh, you got like the special excluded people.
Yeah, but I still get and I will like put my phone away from me when I'm working. But then I like log into the website, and then it's like the 2FA. We're gonna text you. And I'm like, oh man,
Oh, Lord.
I gotta get up,
Right.
walk over here, get a sword. Now it's in my hand,
Exactly.
and I'm like, oh,
They just don't want me to win.
Yeah. It's like you're
No,
working
facts.
against me, man.
Well, thank y'all for helping me. This feels like a therapy couch.
I mean, I
really
feel like it
appreciate
helps.
I feel like I tried to help. I don't know if I did though.
You didn't. I have nothing to actually help my problem, but I do appreciate it. You know who does have a problem? Not Drake, because he is number one on the billboards, and we.
I like what you did
You
there.
said
I like that. I like that.
Drake is and what is it? Some sexy songs for you.
Yes, some sexy
with dollar
songs
signs
for
instead of S's, because that's clever.
Yes.
We do.
We all tapped in to listen, and now we're gonna discuss our feelings and reactions.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm glad that we let it marinate for a little bit. By the time this records, I think it'll be a little less than a month since it dropped. So I definitely ran it through a couple times. And I personally, as terms of like the first project since last year and everything that went on, I like it. I think it was very comfortable for him. I think it was something where he didn't have to think much on it. Him and Party Next Door, I definitely don't think that he gave Party Next Door enough airtime on it. But I think something that he didn't have to think about, and that's what it really sounded like. I don't know,
Like something he didn't think about.
yeah, like it just naturally comes comes to him, and when he's in that bag, like what'd he say? Fuck a rat beef. I'm trying to get the pilot. Like, just stay in your lane.
I have no idea what you just said to me. I have no idea what that was.
So, when it's like that, it's like you don't need to battle for best or whatever. You do your job.
Do your Drake
Yeah,
thing.
exactly, and stay with that. It wasn't the best album, but it's not an album I'm not gonna listen to. You know what I mean? And it was a select songs that I like. I had a couple favorites. And I think it's gonna gear up for. I think he has a good album coming in the summertime.
Okay, well, get ready for your favorite songs because I'm gonna need some suggestions.
Okay,
what you think about it?
So I've listened to it. I've attempted to listen to it a few times. The first time
I've attempted. I love that.
Yeah, the first time it was not the right vibe for me driving in rush hour traffic. I needed something. I needed something a little.
Yikes!
And I was like, nah, this can't be it.
No,
but,
facts.
And then I listened to it again in the car. My girl, we were going somewhere, and I was like, this is better than I initially gave it. But I don't know if this was the project I wanted to hear from Drake as the first thing after the big beef. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of, and I try to remove that when I was like really listening to it. But I was like, you know, this is like singing Drake, cool.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. But I kind of wanted to see swinging Drake, you know, still. But
you still wanted
but
to
then
say something?
but then I was like, but how can you be swinging if you lost the beef? I don't know. I was like, what would I even do in his position?
Yeah.
And then
I think
like,
this
I'm
was the
thinking about this
best
too much.
path. I think
Okay.
this was the best path.
I think so too.
Yeah, come out with songs singing was my original theory. Like, come out with something that get the girls shaking, and then the men will follow. Then the things will keep moving, you know. And I think that's what he did with this album. I think it was a great course of action. On first instance, when I listened to it, similar vibes. I was immediately what is that? CN Tower, whatever that is. It's not a strong foot forward, babe. It's not a strong foot. It's so long. And it's all the same note. And I said, good Lord. I probably went through the first 3 songs and I said, oh God. And I turned it off. And then people are saying that it's good. It has a few bangers on it. I'm like, okay, show me. And that's why I want y'all to tell me what songs you like. So Nokia, what is it? Give Me a Hug.
You naming mine.
Yeah,
You're naming
the
them.
few
Raining,
that
I
have.
think it's Raining in Houston. I like that one too.
Okay.
Honestly, the first half.
You like the first half?
Yes, the last half, except Nokia.
What is it?
I don't
the
like.
first half is terrible, is what you're saying.
No, I like the first half.
Oh.
All of them except.
It's a 22 list.
Yeah, so 1 through 11.
A lot of songs.
It's a lot of
Nokia
songs. I don't think it
is
should have
what I
been
like.
that long. So yeah, friends. I honestly cannot say I've listened to this whole thing in its entirety. I probably would cry. Sometimes when some songs come on, I'm like, what is this? Turn it off. Like I have a visceral reaction. And then some songs I do want to hear.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The CNN Tower though, that is that the first song? Yeah, that should not be the first song on this album.
No,
I will say that.
I feel that. I do also think, like myself, maturing as a human being, I think sometimes.
And Drake has not, is what you're alluding.
Just the life that he lives is not my life. The things that he talks about, I don't do. But
like
you
the
know,
Addies, he said he's
back in 2011 when I'm 17, 18 years old, and basically my late teens to my early 20s, it's like, okay, you can relate. Some of his songs were very motivational because he was on the come up as well.
Mm-hmm.
But now the things, it's like I'm just not on that. You know what I mean? So it's like you have a specific reason why you're being played. Usually it's when I'm working out, or I could even say pregame and going out, but I don't even do that like that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it has its purposes of when it's going to be played, but it just doesn't have the same playback value.
I've heard that people say the same about Future, but we don't hold Future to this we're waiting for you to evolve type standard.
And Pusha T and stuff like
And
that.
Pusha T, Pusha T is still talking about cocaine.
Yeah, nah, facts. It's funny you say that because I feel the same about Future. Like, bro, you really 40 years old and you still
talking
talking
about this.
Like, come on now. But in terms of Drake and the type of music, I just doesn't think it's gonna age well as I get older. I mean, he's damn near 42. I think like he's pushing 40. So some things just have to change for like what my ears, for my ears. You know what I mean?
We're at that space, yeah.
But as much as I will probably always listen to Drake music in terms of like if a new project comes out because I hold what he did early in his career. So it's like
for sure.
you always try to chase the early aspect of him as an artist compared to now. But I'm not mad at the album, but it's just.
Do you think that? I know people are gonna be like, no. Do you think Drake is like on the tail end of his career? Or
That's a
is
good question.
Is he in the middle of it, or is he experiencing the back end of his height?
It's definitely the back. I think he's over the hill.
Yeah,
He's definitely over the hill. I think he has a lot of music left in him, but
it might be another hill.
Do
you think it's another hill?
It could be another hill.
I don't know if it's another hill.
But I just really think his lyric selection or like his content, it has to change. It has to. I just don't see
We've
it.
had enough.
Yeah, and it starts, and honestly, as he gets older and the stuff he talks about, it just starts to become a little bit more creepy. Like you talking about 22 years when you damn near 40. Like that don't even sound cool. You know what I mean? So I just think eventually it's gonna have to change.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I like artists to evolve and like grow, but I do like to have them still hit me with a song too. Like I can still break it down to the streets or like give you some emotional, whatever their wheelhouse is.
Right.
But I would say it does currently feel like he's on the tail end, but I don't know, man. He has his hand in the film industry and TV shows and stuff like that. So
maybe
he could be doing this thing outside of that.
I would be interested and that's my other critique was for coming back from the battle to either go the dancing singing route or to go into another avenue of film or something. I know he had the Nike deal, but I don't know, maybe I'm just not tapped into all the things that Drake are doing. But it seems to me like he continued to try to push the music like, oh, I'm rapping for real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe you could put out a movie or a TV series or something that we could talk about. I don't know.
And I think he's literally been an entertainer basically his whole life. You know what I mean?
He's still
From
entertaining.
acting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I definitely think he has that talent in his wheelhouse. It's just about which direction he wants to go in. But yeah, in terms of like truly tapping into his music now, it doesn't connect as it used
you're
to.
like a passive listener. Same.
You know,
like I'll listen to it when it
last time
comes.
Drake was acting in like in a legit show or movie. I can't even remember. Was it literally? I can only think of Degrassi. Honestly,
I mean, I'm gonna say Degrassi, but I could be wrong.
Maybe he had like a little guest appearance or something, but I haven't heard.
Yeah.
Like
asking like when the last time he because I feel like his first introduction to everyone was acting and Degrassi and stuff like that.
I love Degrassi. I was a Jimmy stan, and I still am. Like that's a good ass show.
Jimmy.
I've actually never watched it.
What?
No.
I mean, it probably didn't age well. Like the acting, obviously, they probably were overacting, but
I ain't gonna
good.
hold you. You watch like. My brother was real big on Degrassi, but I tapped in here and there. But us being the same age as them when the show came out, that show
Changed
was
the
really
game.
like that.
Yes.
It did.
They handled some really well. I think that's Canadian TV in general, but in Degrassi, like the generation that Drake was in was a generation for our group, but they had it since the 70s or something crazy, or like the
I did not
80s.
know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that's why it's called the Next Generation.
And like the parents were the ones in
I did
the
not
80s.
know
Yeah,
that.
it's good.
Oh, that
That's wild.
changed the game.
Okay.
It's like a little soap opera. It's really good.
Okay.
So, but they would tackle really deep topics. And then, of course, like, I was tied to Jimmy because he was the only black guy. So it was like, oh, my God, Drake. And then the end would play his replacement girl. You know, see, y'all ain't real Drake fans.
No, that's the
y'all
first Drake
ain't
song.
okay, cool.
That's the first Drake song.
I didn't. That's a good ass song. We can't talk about Trey
cool.
songs.
I remember when
but-
it premiered on 106 and Pop.
Yeah, but it was on the end for a while
Yeah.
because Canada, he was tapped in. But I was for sure a Drake fan. So yeah,
Okay. Because I know he, I don't know if y'all seen Top Boy.
I haven't got into that.
Man, it was a British crime show.
It's good though, right?
Oh yeah. So they had 2 original seasons, and it was like 4 episodes each, and it was different. It was gritty. It was it was about the streets for sure, but it was like very much European. Like
The
it
accents.
was hard to get. But it was also hard to get guns because like the gun. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh wow!
So it was like
Just
a whole
imagine
big
that.
thing, right? You know what I'm saying? But then, it went off for like a few years, and it came back. I think Drake was like the executive producer, and it was still good. They bumped it up to like 20 episodes or so, but it definitely felt Americanized because now everyone got guns.
interesting.
Everyone got
Gotcha.
guns now. Everyone, you know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
like,
Culture vulture Drake strikes even in the TV industry. Good Lord. Because what are you doing over there messing with that TV show? Okay. Wow.
No, fact.
Not just in Atlanta.
No, for
Yeah.
real. But yeah, I think it was overall, it was worth him putting out as the first. It was a nice, safe route.
It was a safe route. It was a little. I enjoyed some of the songs that I did enjoy, and I said, "Oh, okay, I'll listen to this." It had a smidge bit too much auto tune on it for me, and I'm like, maybe I do enjoy throwback Drake because it wasn't heavily, at least to me, it wasn't heavily doused in auto tune to the point where it's like sounding robotic. Like, I'm like, I don't really know if I like that sound.
Yeah,
so maybe if it was just like a smidge, like a 5 instead of 18 or whatever you put on that. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
But I also agree with that. They didn't give Party Next Door enough. On that. Yeah.
Damn.
At all.
Sometimes I forgot he was even on the
Yikes.
the joint.
So it is a theory that these were just songs that Drake already had in the tuck, and then he just asked Party to put a verse on it. Is that something you could see, or vice versa even?
It sounded like it. I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't see the... I mean, everybody has their reasons, but why would Party Next Door want to do that?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
'Cause he was
if you were
helping
Party,
his
would you say yes to
Yeah,
that?
that's
Or
what I'm saying. Like, I know it's Drake. I get it, but like,
Yeah,
I feel like
it's
you
Drake.
Can, but you can. I feel like he can hold his own. You don't think so? It's
Are you
Drake.
asking me?
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
If Party Next Door, Drake was like, all right, it's finally time to do this album.
Yeah, I know.
Now that I'm knee deep in shit from this rap battle,
But I don't know.
I ain't really got time. I've been on tour. Here's some songs.
If I was I guess I would do it, but I would go hard as fuck
I
on
think
that
he
joint.
did. I think he shined for
Yeah,
the
you
parts
know,
that he was
Yeah.
invited on.
That's
I
what I'm
guess-
saying.
yeah.
Like, what were the? What were you? I guess we
I
don't know.
need y'all to know I barely listened to this album, and I am tearing your. I'm tearing it apart. Y'all aren't fighting back for Drake. What is going on?
It's just like, I just feel like if my name is attached to something, I understand the opportunity. You never know what people had space on and things like that. I just would need more if it's a Party Next Door and Drake album. That's how I look at it.
I don't even know.
We
what Party
both
Next
on the
Door
cover.
look like, though.
We both in Canada. I'm gonna need more.
Isn't Drake like responsible for Party Next Door's career? Am I jumping off the deep end?
I'm gonna say
Will we not know about him?
he might have introduced him, but I'm not gonna say he's responsible for it.
But that Drake cosign was pretty heavy back in the day.
Remember than The Weeknd?
I mean, are we holding Lil Wayne to the same thing with Drake? No. Introduced him, but that he's not
Okay,
responsible
not responsible for his career.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
responsible for it. Of course,
No,
that's
true.
how he was introduced, but I
No,
just
that's a good
can't.
point.
I'm not gonna give him that. I just
Okay.
can't. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a good point. Okay.
All right, y'all. All right, let me know what songs I need to listen to. Both of y'all, tell me what Drake song on some sexy songs with the dollar signs I should be listening to.
I got 3 good ones. I think they're good.
Like, I don't have individual tracks. Like I said,
What-
I was enjoying the vibe initially, but I wasn't writing down like
Initially.
because I always do it. Like, am I gonna add any of these into one of my existing playlists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't do any of that yet, so that's kind of where I was at with it.
Facts. How do you create your playlist? Like, what are the vibes that you try to create? They say that's the number one way to introduce people to music is like playlists.
Oh, let me see. Let me actually look at my phone. I mean, I have a. So okay, this is interesting because I'm trying to figure out new ways of doing it. Because I had like a road trip playlist with like was kind of like the just everything hodgepodge together.
Yeah.
But I do have like smooth tunes.
Okay.
That I
So,
kinda go
like,
with.
Chill.
Yeah. I have a Stove God Cooks playlist right now, which is more than just Stove God. It's like the whole Griselda.
Okay.
That's my vibe right there. Let me see. I got some stuff like high energy stuff for the workouts. And
Okay.
But now I was on a road trip a few years ago, and a friend of mine had like they just did 2023, 2024, 2025, and I was
Right.
like,
That's an interesting way to do
like,
it.
you know
That's
what?
interesting.
I might try. So I did 2024, and that's been like my go-to. I haven't started 2025 yet. I just been throwing more stuff in 2022.
That's fair. I have one for like the 2010s music for sure. Like the whole entire like 2010 to like 2020. So like that little pocket. What were you about to say about the Drake songs? Come on. Give us the
See,
titles.
I don't like that tone. I don't like that tone.
Give us the titles. Come on.
No, I got a couple. I got Deeper, which is mostly just Party Next Door.
Okay.
Pimmy's Dilemma. I don't know who Pim is, but I liked her melody on that.
Okay.
Give Me a Hug. I thought that's the hardest one on the album. I just feel like Drake.
Let's talk about the title.
It's Drake. Like, that's some
Okay.
real beggy shit.
Yeah.
But that's something that he would do for real. Like, I can see him, and he even said it in the club, like, I can see him going back to the strip club
I'm like, give me a hug.
and telling the strippers, get off the pole and give me a hug. Like, you can just see him do that. It's just some Drake shit. For real. But I enjoyed the 3 different beats that was on the song, and how he was able to change the rapping.
He's definitely like, is he patented that? No, he plays around with that a lot with the different beats and things.
Definitely. Raining in Houston, I think that's a good one. And Nokia. A lot of people didn't like Nokia, but I played it back. I like Nokia. I like
that's the only one I will say has been getting any replay from me just because I kind of like the sound. And mark my words, I think that is going to be that 70s, 80s pocket is going to be the sound for this summer. Unless Beyonce just comes, which she probably will, and just everything is Cowboy Carter and country music again. Okay. But I do think it's going to be that 80s.
What makes you say that?
Because Drake is, again, although he does steal the vibe, he is ahead of his time sometimes. And I think that song popping off now is going to set the tone for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that come to.
We shall see. I like it. That's my favorite time of music is the 80s. So, yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's some good
80s,
music.
70s?
I was going to say 70s. But 80s is. Between 70s and 80s. Like you said, yeah.
That's cool. Well, speaking of 80s is my favorite time of movies. But
okay.
I love the 80s sci-fi movies. Everything, their rendition of the future was just big, boxy computers.
And shiny stuff.
Yeah, you know. So anyway, let's just call back to the movie stuff.
I love that. Call back to the movie stuff, which is what we want to get into with you for a little bit longer. So cinematography more so because you are a photographer.
Before that,
I'm
sorry to cut you off. Can we get a little backstory of you, Lou, of like your discipline, what you do, and I guess all visuals. I know you said you worked in the movie industry for 3 years, but even that, I didn't even know that you did that. So in terms of like what you went to school for, I'm curious.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. So I always knew I wanted to tell stories for the most part. So I went to school. I wanted to be a screenwriter.
Oh, wow.
But we didn't have. College was just like the next step. I didn't have a plan necessarily. Okay. People were like, after high school, you go to college. Yeah. I was like, cool, we got a college, we in here.
That's the next thing.
Right? All right, yeah, Norfolk State, we in here, cool.
Oh, shout out to Norfolk State.
Yeah, shout out to Norfolk State, yeah. But I went to journalism, and I was good. I was good in journalism. But after my senior year, I was like really kind of getting burnt out because I was doing all this writing, but it wasn't creative. So I picked up a camera to start like filming some of these scripts that I had written. But I was like, oh, cool, I got a professional camera now. Like, why don't my images look like these album covers or like these ads in magazines? Yeah. So it was a curiosity thing. Like I kept trying to figure out why is this not working, and it just kept drawing me in. Yeah. And so when I graduated in like December of 2013, I reached out to every photographer that I found in DC, and one person decided to like sit down with me, and he hired me after that. And I was shooting headshots for him for like 3 years during the day, and then at night in the studio, just kind of working on my own thing. Then from there, I moved to Kentucky because I wanted to like take a bigger stab at the whole industry. Right. And there was a guy out there, Clay Cook, who was really an artist too, man. And we would hustle every single day. He was doing editorial stuff, so magazine stuff. So we were like shooting every single day. Crazy fashion setups, portraits, all types of stuff, working our asses off. And then he slowly started transitioning into commercial photography, which was like huge budgets compared to what we were initially doing, but way less work. It was a lighter lift. It was interesting. It was an interesting dynamic, you know.
When you say commercial, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
When you say commercials,
Oh yeah, so commercial photography is. You're working with brands, and usually image rights are then discussed. So, like, you're licensing these images. So, usually, like, if you're working with, I don't know, Target, for example, then, you license the images, and that's how photographers make, like, the good money. And then their ads end up getting, their images start being used for ads in, like, online, stuff like that. But we, specifically, Clay was working with, like, History Channel, and, like, we photographed the crew of... what was it? Swamp People, which was like I loved that show growing up. It was on my dorm room every day. So.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was kind of cool.
That's
and
a
then
full
like,
circle moment.
yeah, and it was like we also photographed like the key art for Little Women Atlanta and all that stuff, like things like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so that was interesting watching that. But I still had the movie thing in the back of my head. So another dude who was in the internship with me left, and then he got into the movie space, and he for like 6 months he was telling his friends in the movie space like, yo, I know someone, and it took a production from hell to happen where like a lot of the G&E people, Grip and Electric guys, were like leaving this project because it was just like the DP was like insane, it was just crazy. So he was like, listen man, it's gonna be a week of hell, but like
But you're in here.
yeah, but you're in here, people are gonna know you, like cool.
Wow.
So man, we busted ass. It was crazy. It was the first time I had used these RE sky panels, which are like super expensive, and the gaffer knew it was my first time on a movie set, but he was like, yeah, I'm gonna put you on this 10-step ladder in this barn, and you're gonna hook up these sky panels, and then hook them up to DMX, and yeah. And
Can you tell us what movie this is or no?
I don't want. I can tell y'all after.
You off camera.
Just
Off
because I
camera.
kind of said production from hell, but yeah, and it was. I will never forget some of that too, because like we were using big, huge other lights where you have to plug in like a number of cables. So like I think it's like banded is what it's called, I believe. Where you got to plug in the ground first. So it's like green. It's like these colors, like green, white, and then the hot cables, which are like 3 cables. But if you don't do it right, you potentially could blow up the box.
Oh.
Wow.
So like it was like, so we both were like staring at each other. Me and my man was like
cool.
green, white, hot, and then unplugging it the same way, hot, white, and then the green, which is the ground.
Okay. You know it off the back now.
Yeah, but yeah, so I did that for a while. I did that for 2 years. Super fun, but also like crazy. Like you're talking about like 12-hour days minimum.
Wow.
Sometimes we're going to 15.
Wow.
But man, you see so many different people from different departments, and I had a good time, man. So in Kentucky, it was mostly like Hallmark movies, rom-com stuff, and like the occasional slasher and stuff like that.
Okay.
So those were kind of cool because like I would never read the script completely beforehand, and you're shooting out of order, so you'd be like, wait a minute, so this person killed that person, and then like, wait, what happened? Yeah.
So are you behind the camera, or were you doing like laying the lighting and all that, or all of that?
Oh yeah, so we were behind the scenes. So we would light the scenes up, and then like the director would come in, and then they would like rehearse the stuff, and then depending on who was there, sometimes I would stay with the gaffer and be the guy inside, and I'm like working the haze machine or like making adjustments if I needed to. Otherwise, we would be working on the next scene, which would be
so setting up something else while they're working on it.
Sometimes
That's
I could be
so
in a
fire.
different location or like another spot in this mansion. Sometimes we're shooting in mansions, stuff like that. Other times you're just like sitting around with your crew.
Yeah, just hanging for the next
Yeah,
spot. That is so
sending someone
so
to the crafting
cool.
table and stuff like that. And I will say, there's a meme online of like G&E. It's like, I love G&E because it's like some rough around the edges people, man. Like, especially in Kentucky, like chain smoking. We're gonna crush some beers after this type of stuff.
Wow.
But these same guys can break down the motivation of like these scenes and the lights and all that stuff in a really I don't know, intimate fashion. I don't know.
Creatives are everywhere.
Yeah.
No, for real.
That's
But
beautiful.
there's a meme that's like then the DP finally meets the G&E crew for the first time, and it's Pee Wee Herman meeting like a bunch of different like buff motorcycle dudes, and I was like, this is legitimately how it is. Yeah.
That's cool. So now you're not. Are you still in the movie biz? What would you say, or have you transitioned into something?
No, so remember I said it was really difficult for me to get my foot in the door in the film industry down there. So when I moved back to DC, because I was like, all right, I can do all this in Kentucky. I could definitely do this on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So when I moved back up here, I was trying to get my foot back in the door in the film industry, trying to do a bunch of things, but it just became a lot easier to get clients to hire me for photography.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's really where I'm at, really. You know, photography is my jam for real, man. And I do work with video a bit.
Yeah.
But man, I feel like we are losing what we could do photography wise, and like I'm trying to go back to those old things. Like I said, I'm inspired by old movies, old TV ads, and stuff like that. So I'm kind of trying to
Dipping
bring
back
some of
into
that back out. So.
No,
I
facts.
love it.
No. I think it's a lot that you just
Yeah,
said, Lou.
right.
But basically, I learned so much about you because even the story, I didn't know that you went to Norfolk State. Because I heard that you worked in Kentucky before. I thought you went to school in Kentucky and stayed there.
That's
but
why he was there. Because why else would anybody be in Kentucky?
So just hearing a lot of this is just like enlightening. So from that standpoint, I'm just curious with the background that you have in terms of what we were talking about with the state of the film industry now. What's your take on? I just want to know, like, back in like maybe 2010, 2011, when you're fresh out and, you know, doing the film and, you know, in that part of the industry timing compared to now, do you see a big difference?
I mean,
and even from an outside looking in, because like you said, you focus on more photo now. So just from what you see.
That's an interesting question. So I will say, even when I was in the film industry, like kind of heavy, I feel like there was still a good appreciation for movies.
Okay.
I feel like streaming is definitely like
Changed the whole culture.
Really changed the game. And I mean, you know, it gave simultaneously it gave a bunch of other filmmakers an opportunity to get their stuff out there.
That is true.
I mean, not Timu, Lord.
Tubi.
Tubi. I don't call it Timu. Same company.
Yeah. So on that end, I can't be mad at that, you know.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there is something to the experience of going into a movie theater and like seeing it how the filmmaker wanted it to be seen.
Yeah.
You know, like I've heard the same thing happen with music. Like, you know, sometimes people make music for the car, sometimes they make it for like a stadium, you know, and it depends on the sound. Like, you want to see the movie the way the director and the DP wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
So like I go to the theater still to see things.
I
but
love a theater.
I brought up Batman earlier for a specific reason too, because like Batman was a great experience in like the Dolby theater where you heard him walking before you even see him melting out the shadows, right?
Yeah.
But then I watched it a few months later at home, and I was like,
wow.
I was like kind of losing me a little bit.
Yeah,
You know?
I thought it was extremely boring.
Yeah, but. So, I mean, for it to be such a heavy lift work-wise, and, like, G&E is tough because, like, you're lifting heavy-ass lights and stands all the time, you know.
For one scene.
Oh, my God, yo. Like, it's crazy. And then, and it's, we were literally, like, you know what they say about with the mailman, like, the rain, sleet, snow.
Yeah.
We were doing this shit in rain, sleet, snow. And that was one of the reasons, like, I'll go to a set sometimes with, like, waterproof everything on. It's because I was literally frozen rain on, like, one of these first movies, and I was, like, feet were frozen, man.
Wow.
That's crazy. I think I want to talk about the mentors that you had in your career. And it sounds like a lot of networking, a lot of who you knew, and also that internship. So from a creative standpoint, how important is mentorship for your journey as far as like any creative trying to, you know, get their foot in the door?
Oh, man. Mentorship is important. It's huge. I would definitely not be anywhere near where I am right now if it wasn't for Delane Rouse, DC Corporate Headshots, my first job, and then definitely Clay Cook and all the people that he introduced me to along the way.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, I have people here like Rob Schrag, who really plugged me into like the national like commercial space and put me into a lot of places. Basically, I say this: like, you can learn a lot online, YouTube, university, blog posts, and everything like that. But it's always good to have someone who's like lived experiences and like pick their brain. Because with Clay, man, it was funny. Like we were in Kentucky, but we would drive all over. Like the footprint of where we worked at was in Atlanta, Louisiana, Chicago, that whole area.
Gotcha.
So we were constantly in the car driving. And sometimes we were in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, but like we wouldn't necessarily talk about the shoots in the car, but afterwards, you know, he like smoke a cigarette or something like that. He's out there. I'm like, okay, hold up, let me step out there with him. So wait, why do we do this?
No,
okay.
You don't want to talk about that in the shoot because he's locked in.
Right.
So that right there was, I would not replace that with anything because I learned so much.
No,
and his biggest piece of advice networking was like, buy someone a drink. And like Kentucky was a big bourbon space.
Got you. Okay.
Every time someone flew in to see him, we were getting some drinks and talking and like making a memory of the night, because like then that shared memory is a shared experience. And they might have been there for him, but like if I was with them, then they all remember. Yeah. So
that's a hack
that's
right
beautiful.
there. Yeah, that's a hack for sure. I
What
think
about you? Any mentors in your journey?
it's it's crazy. I never had like an official mentor like in the artist space, and I think that's so important because I'm still finding one. I always bounce ideas off my friends and things like that, but I'm trying to think of like an OG in the game.
Right, I'm same.
That I really don't have one that I can just be my go-to to talk about with questions and things like that. So even older artists that I find and connect with, I always try to chop it up with them, but I wouldn't call it a former intern. And I don't think I found anybody that that I just wanted to ask. It's actually one person, shout out to Naturel. I actually met him in DC. I was with you, Lou, because Cook was with me at an event at Eaton. I don't know if you remember this. This was maybe 2018, maybe.
Wow,
Damn,
y'all
okay.
go back.
It was a while
I'm the
ago.
new one in this.
Yeah. And I really didn't know Lou like that.
Okay, but in the same
But
space.
I feel like you were there.
Okay.
And it was an event at Eaton Hotel, and I introduced myself to Naturel, and we were talking and things like that. And I was gonna help him on a mural, and then COVID hit. So it kind of went by the wayside, and I always talk to him on Instagram every now and then, but I just feel like we lost that connection.
That potential.
For what I had the potential to ask him to be. He doesn't even know this story, so I'm saying it for the first time.
We'll tag him.
Yeah, exactly. So in short, I don't have a mentor, but it's definitely something on my list. I definitely want it for sure.
I think similarly, like I haven't found anybody that I could reach out that has done something that I've already done. But there have been people or official mentor either. Like you said, I think that's an interesting term because there's people along the way on my journey that either drop some wisdom or like introduce me to some people. And that happens so much just from Instagram. But what you're talking about, that tangible taking me with you and showing me things and showing me people, game changer. And it's always been kind of linear, like you were saying, my friendship group and my network, but never like somebody that has achieved these things. So that sounds super dope.
Would you be looking for like a media mentor? Like,
That's what I'm saying. And what would the person even be? And that's something that I'm still trying to figure out too. I'm like, what exactly would the person do and what that would look like for my future self? So I'm still working on it. I'm the person in the group that's like trying to piece it together because I don't know. Like, would it be a podcast host that I want to talk to? Would it be somebody in media and entertainment? I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So it's
and I
interesting.
think it comes with. I think some things you can't just predetermine. Like maybe you'll end up working with somebody one day, and the conversation will just come naturally.
Exactly.
So it's really you just
Crossing
really don't
paths,
know when it will happen, how it will happen.
Yeah.
But definitely.
But how did you find? Well, what did you do anything to like put yourself in the space to find your mentor, to find somebody, or was it just cold calls?
Yeah. Well, with Delane, that was just a bunch of cold emails, yeah, Delane's a black photographer as well, so he was like, let me pay it forward, and like, so I learned his specific style of shooting.
That's dope.
Which was awesome, and then I took YouTube from there. But with Clay, F Stoppers was like this big website where all the photographers would talk about stuff and everything. Gotcha. And he was a contributing writer, and I loved his work. It was like super dark, dramatic work that was like heavy on lighting. And so I tried. I applied for the internship 1 year, and I didn't hear back. And I was like, okay, bet. I was like, I'm gonna come hard this time. And I pretty much said, I was like, you should be interested in me for this reason. Boom, 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 boom.
Gotcha.
I still have that email saved somewhere because I was. He was like, yeah, I'm impressed with your pitch, man. Why don't you come down here? So
that's dope.
And it was
so cool.
it was a very I wouldn't say informal interview. It's definitely out the box. Basically, maybe I should.
We can edit everything.
Basically, we had a really good time. At the end, he was like, I could see I could hang with you. So like, let's.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
I feel like mutual relationships and feeding off of each other, especially in a creative dynamic, it's like, do I want you around me for a long period of time working?
No,
and you can execute perfect. I think that's important.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
No, facts. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Look at us.
Exactly.
Interviewing Lewis.
No, for sure.
Appreciate it.
So Lewis is always here with us in the room. He is, what is the role? I'm so bad at names of the roles.
Well, I'm the photo director, but I guess I am the DP. I work the cameras and the board usually. We got Mac doing it right now, which is double
Shout out
teaming.
Mac.
Shout out to Mac now for
shout
doing the
out to
audio
Mac.
and the cameras right now.
We appreciate it.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I've been trying this whole episode What does DP mean? I've been trying to figure out.
Director of photography.
Got you.
Ah.
Okay, got you. I was trying to keep it cool.
I
I'm
got
like,
G&E, General Electrician.
Oh no, grip and electric.
There we go.
I'm not by myself. I'm not
We were
alone.
gonna make it work. I didn't know about DP, but I heard it. I thought it was director producer.
Oh, hey.
See,
Learn something new every
I was
day.
gonna work with it.
Exactly.
So yeah, y'all. Every episode we try to leave you with resources, something that you can take into your life and be better.
Yes.
Today, Lewis, what is your resource? I'm gonna let you take the shine.
Okay, I'll go first. My resource is called Obsidian. It's an app. It's a free app that it's a note-taking app, and I'm not big on downloading new apps. I hate that stuff, but this one particularly kind of caught my attention because it lives offline and it's free if you only use it on one device. If you want to sync it up with, on a number of devices, you do have to pay a small fee. But I like it because I am very easily distracted. Like we were talking about my phone, or even when I'm working on like online and I hit a new tab, it's like a whole new potential distraction right there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Obsidian, when I hit a new tab, you're still in Obsidian and you just like work on whatever you need to work on. Now, it is, if you're afraid of like building something from the ground up, it might not be for you because it's very bare bones at first, but you can customize it to do so many different things. So you can, I would encourage you to just like Google and see what people have done with it because it's like really incredible.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Every time I mistakenly see it on your computer, I'm like, what is this? Or like when you're showing us some of your mood boards, I'm like, okay, what is this on here?
Oh, yeah.
And it seems amazing, especially for someone like me who has a million tabs open. Being able to focus on one platform seems pretty cool. So yeah, tap it in Obsidian. Is it free?
It is free, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, and I will say, people have found workarounds. If you want to use it on your phone and your computer for free, you can just put the master folder in your like Google Drive, and then just keep accessing it. But then you won't be able to access it offline. And that was really what I needed, was something I could do offline and like wherever. So
Offline would be key for me too. Like I just need to shut the internet off sometimes. All right, J Law, you have a resource? I don't.
I'm stumped this week.
Yeah,
it's crazy coming from me, ain't
hey,
it? That's
y'all,
crazy.
this is the time. If you have a resource that
Yes.
you want us to share and promote or take a look at, please put them in the comments because we are tapping out. What is this, episode 16?
17.
17? Yeah, I've given you 16 resources.
16 gems.
It's your turn. Okay, you tell me. Yeah, we would really love your suggestions. Put them in the comments,
Sure.
and always like leave us a comment, y'all. We'll talk to you in the comments. We would love to see you there.
We will, for sure.
All right, y'all. J Law.
Dang, I'm doing it. I'm back. I'm back again. I'm closing out again. Beautiful people, creatives, the group chat. You can definitely find us on all platforms, CTLN_network. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Instagram, follow us, and
all
definitely
that.
tap into, talk to us, comment, and start the conversation because that's what it's all about.
For sure. And Lewis, tell them where they can find you too and check out some of your dope work.
For sure.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Lewis Tinsley, and then my website is just lewistinsley.com. I was heavy on Twitter, not anymore, but
Because you know why.
but yeah, that's find me there.
Yes. Well, thanks, guys. See y'all next week. Bye.
All right, peace out.